Hello everyone, welcome to Finbot. Myself, Satya Bharat. I'm a fellow chartered accountant and chartered financial analyst candidate. Today, through Finbot classes, we are combining the concepts of finance and technology together such that we will get the maximum out of them. We will be learning the finance concepts from basics till the advanced, and similarly, we'll also learn the Python from basics till the advanced concept so that we can apply the finance topics whatever we learned using the Python practically. So it is basically the purpose is to apply the finance concepts using the Python language. As an example, today in this session we are going to see the mean variance optimization. Mean variance optimization is a concept modeled by Mr. Markowitz in 1952. So, and later it have been turned to be like a modern portfolio theory. The very purpose of this mean variance optimization is to maximizing the Sharpe ratio. Sharpe ratio means the risk reward return ratio. Like if someone says, as an example, if someone says the Sharpe ratio is a 4 times, it means like for every 1 rupee of risk that he is taking, he will be getting like 4 rupees of return. So the more you maximize your Sharpe return, it is like the risk is less and the returns are more. So the concept what we are going to learn today is to relate either minimizing the volatility of the risk and to maximizing the returns. For learning this particular concept, we will take the live data from the Yahoo Finance. We will go to the Yahoo Finance website. From there we will pick up the data. Initially we will be starting with 2 stocks. We will be choosing like Nifty, Reliance or some other stocks, and then we will be practically learning and manually see how this actually works. So once we learn the topic of this mean variance optimization, then we are good to go for the Python coding. So while learning, we will learn it step by step, like what to be done. First we have to go to Yahoo Finance, get the data and keep it in an Excel, and then just calculate the returns, standard deviations. So step by step we will be making you understand. The same step by step we will also implement it in the Python coding. After coding, we will then be testing it. We will be testing the how far this particular concept is worthwhile. Like we will do the backward testing and the forward testing. Forward testing we will do in this session for 2 years back to back. However, we will do it later for you the 5 years of forward testing. We will do the forward testing of 5 years and we will share the results with you so that you can understand how far this particular concept is reliable and to move on. So let's begin it. And one more thing I would like to tell everyone that this particular concept is for the long-term investors only. This is meant for the long-term investors. This is nowhere useful for the short-term investors or the traders, whether it's the day traders or the positional traders. This is meant for those long-term investors. So let's begin. Let's start learning it. Then we'll be moving to the coding.
So let's start our session. Now we'll be first beginning with learning the concept. So we'll be first learning the concept, learning what is Markowitz model or mean variance optimization. So we will be learning it through an Excel with a real-time data. We will be going to Yahoo Finance. We'll get the data and we will work on that. After this step, we will be moving to coding of it in Python, then testing, then results. We'll be doing the backward testing and forward testing. So let's begin. So first we are downloading the data from the Yahoo Finance. Now we can work on any 2 stocks for our understanding. Since we are just learning about it, we can take any stocks. I prefer Nifty and Bank Nifty, but also we can go with which one do you like? Reliance. Okay, I'll be taking the Reliance data. So I'm going to the historical data. in the historical data, I'm taking historical data. It's already giving me one full year of date information I'm taking, and it's daily. Fine, apply, and let me download it. Okay, so just observe step by step. First we are downloading the data, and we can take any other stock. Let us take maybe Nifty. One indices also we'll take. Historical data. Same way we'll be taking one full year data. Ensure that is one full year data, and we are taking the daily. Apply, download. Okay, now let's open these files. Okay, I'm also taking a blank Excel for us to work. I'm taking the dates, copying, pasting in our blank file. So this is the dates. Now Nifty data, Nifty 50 in Reliance. So I prefer to do it with VLOOKUP. So these are the dates. On this particular date, what is the value of on this particular date, what is the value of Nifty? I am taking the adjusted close. Adjusted close will give us a better presentation because it will be adjusted with all the dividends and other aspects. So I need the sixth column. Done. Same way we will do it for the Reliance VLOOKUP. Lookup value is the date, and the table tray is from the Reliance table. Sixth column. Perfect. So we will be doing it for all the dates. Now, like, okay, I'm just converting the formulas, the data into values so that I can delete these two files. I can just close off these two other files. Okay, then remember two things here. Number one, we have to remove if there is any null values. Null means that particular date. See, on this date 14th 11 there is no information, so there is no point in having this in our data. So it will give us no results, and it will also throw some errors. So first we have to delete that particular rows. Just remember this because I'll be taking the same, we'll be doing the same step while coding the Python. Again, also in Reliance, let us see if there is any null. There is no null, so it is good. And one more thing I would like to tell you, you will have the entire information in Yahoo Finance for almost all the shares of Indian stock market, but still there are some dates which they may be missing. Like we have seen 14th of November 2020, there is no data of Reliance or maybe Nifty 50. So same way, there are few stocks I have seen 1 out of 100, like Indus Tower. There is a stock called Indus Tower, which is one of the like one in top 100 of Nifty 100 stocks. So it is a one of the prominent stock in Indian stock market, but still there is no data with Yahoo Finance. Historical data, it's taking time. Okay. So if you see, there is only 1 month, only one data. It is out of one full year, it can give you only one particular days, like 2 days data only. It cannot give you the last one full year's data. So I will show you how to get get out of this. Like when you are downloading Nifty 100 stocks, it will also include the name of Indus Tower. But then Yahoo cannot give you the information, so you can't work without having an information. So in Python coding, I'll show you how to eliminate these stocks from our analysis. So for now, let us first concentrate on our topic. Now we got the data, the Reliance and Nifty, and let us see the returns of it. So this is the returns, daily returns, okay, is equal to today's value divided by the yesterday's value minus 1 is the percentage of growth. So around 0.8% have been the improvement in Nifty 50. Similarly with the Reliance, okay. So this is for sorry. Yeah, this is for one full year. This is the data for one full year. Okay. Oh, okay. Now this is for one full year data. Let us calculate the average daily returns. Average daily returns. And average daily returns is equal to average of the whole information. So on an average, as per the last year's data, we can see Nifty 50 is giving around 0.08%, whereas Reliance is giving 0.16%. Maybe sometimes it has given 3% and sometimes it is like minus 2%. So on an average, the daily returns of Nifty and Reliance is this. Now let us also calculate the average standard deviation. I should call standard deviation is equal to standard deviation is the risk. It is because of lack of uncertainty. An investor or a trader is taking certain risk in buying or holding this particular stock. So that is called a standard deviation. Like how much the deviation it is happening from the mean. The average is 0.08%, but if you see it is not, here it is 0.08, and here it is minus 0.45, it is minus 1.91%. So it is completely deviating from its average. Sometimes it's going too high and too low. So this is the uncertainty for an investor on uh, on the returns. So that is the reason we are calculating the standard deviations. This will give us on an average how much the deviation is happening from the mean, from the average number of 0.08%. And also standard deviation dot s and dot p. If you observe it, dot p means like the population. So if we have taken the complete information of Nifty 50 starting from its beginning, say 1996 or 1992, I'm not sure, like from that time, if you are taking the complete information, then you can use the standard deviation population. But then out of around 20 years 30 years data, we are just working on only 1 year data, meaning we are taking only a sample from a population. So we have to use the standard deviation dot sample. So standard deviation dot sample. Now we need the standard deviation for this particular indices. So almost about 2% is the deviation ups and downs. Same way with Reliance. Reliance is having around 2.96% average standard deviation per day, daily. We can also calculate this into annually by multiplying with the square root of 252, which we don't need to work now. Okay, now what is the correlation between them? Correlation mean like how many times if Nifty is growing, Reliance is also growing up. Like in this, these two are positive, both are on the positive side. Here in the second line, Nifty is going negative while the Reliance is going positive. So there is no correlation, there is no, they are not gelling together, they are not moving together, where again in this case they are moving again on the same similar side, here positive, here negative. So out of 100 times, how many times they are correlated to each other, how strong they are moving in the same direction. So that what we are we will be getting from the correlation of array with array 2. So 74% in the last 1 year, out of 100 times, 74 times they are moving in the same direction. So they are highly correlated. So at least 75% of 74 times you can say out of 100 they are moving together. We have certain strategies on the correlation also, which we will be seeing in the later sessions. Now, okay, Sharpe ratio. As I was telling you in the beginning, Sharpe ratio means for 1 rupee of risk, how much return I should expect. Here, how much it is giving the Nifty in the last 1 year is, return is 0.08%, while the standard deviation is standard deviation is 1.98%, and this is also 5.25%, 5.24%. We can also see it in standard, like let us make it annual, so for us to get a even more better picture. Your average daily returns, I am making this return per annum. Similarly, standard deviation per annum. So you can, per day you are getting 0.08%. How many working days in a year for a stock market is 252, because if you remove the Saturdays and Sundays, 52 into 2, approximately around 104 days. 104 days if you eliminate from 365, approximately 252 is the working days. So yearly the return from Nifty in the last 1 year is 18.95, while from Reliance it is 39.07. Same way we can see also the standard deviation is equal to 1.98% into 252 square root of 0.5. So 18.95%. For you to earn 20%, 18 or 19%, you have to take a risk of 32%. With Reliance, 39% return it has given, but the volatility or the risk was around 47%. Now let us calculate. So the Sharpe ratio is giving you 60%, meaning if a person is taking 1 rupee of risk, he is getting only 60 paise of return. With Reliance, it is for 1 rupee of risk, he is getting 83 paise of return. Okay, which one do you prefer? Generally, if you give this particular option to any layman, he will be choosing this, obviously, because he is getting more, like for 1 rupee of risk, he is getting a better option. He is getting approximately 83 paise. Now, what if I tell you, you create a portfolio with 50% each. You invest 50% in each. I am giving you 100 rupees. Some may be preferring 100% I want to invest in the Reliance. But then the correlation, considering the other factors, it is always to go with a portfolio, because by any chance if Reliance straight, if the price of the Reliance is going down, he has to have the complete value of his investment is going to be a down. So that's why it is always suggestible to have a portfolio. Which portfolio will give me the best option? Like if I'm having the 50 and 50, what will be my return? and standard deviation. Let us check it. So my return will be 50% of 18.95 plus 50% of 39.07. So had I invested 50% in each of this, I'll be getting 29%, not 39, not 18. Similarly, what will be my standard deviation? My standard deviation will be standard deviation formula. If you want to check for the portfolio standard deviation formula. Yeah, you can check here and do it, but for now I'm just doing like this. The weight of the first asset into the standard deviation of the first asset square plus the weight of the second asset into the standard deviation of the second asset square plus 2 into weight 1 into weight 2 into standard deviation into correlation. Don't forget correlation per annum or per daily, it is the same. Like you can take this correlation as it is, correlation, and for everything we have to keep a square root. So standard deviation is like 37%, 36% for this. So what is the Sharpe ratio? Approximately 79%. For 79% of, meaning like for one rupee of risk, 79 paise or 80 paise will be the return here. We can also check it in other side, like for example, we can also do it this standard deviation slightly in a different style, just for your understanding only I'm giving. Like Nifty and Reliance, this is what your, but then you are investing only 50% in this. Same way you are just investing 50% in Reliance. So this will be your average daily returns on 50% basis. So if you have done this, cover the complete full year, so this will be the portfolio returns at 50%. Now let us calculate the standard deviation. Now let's calculate the portfolio standard deviation, portfolio returns as well. Okay, equal to your portfolio returns, it's the average of is for the Nifty, same for Reliance. Standard deviation sample we are taking, standard deviation of this. Okay, just for your understanding, we can also calculate this particular standard deviation returns of portfolio slightly in a different style. Just for your understanding, I'm keeping it here. So our portfolio is consisting of portfolio returns will be 50% of this plus 50% of Reliance. Right? This will be our return till the year end. Okay. So my portfolio return average, my portfolio standard deviation, this is daily, again daily, is equal to average of which is nothing but the average of these two. Like you can see, the average is 0.12%. The standard deviation, daily standard deviation is also standard deviation sample we are taking is 23%. Let us calculate both of them for annual per annum as I was doing the same, multiplied with 252 for the 252 number of working days of the stock market. So 29% is the average standard deviation multiplied with 252 square root. So you can see both and these two are same. So whichever the way you want to do it, you can do it. And so now we have seen downloading the data from the Yahoo Finance and keeping it in one Excel. We have just made it into two columns, back one by one next to the other, and then we have seen the returns, then calculated the daily average returns, then standard deviation, then correlation, and the daily returns we converted into per annum basis. Standard deviation also, daily standard deviation we have been converted into per annum basis, yearly basis. And we have also seen another way of doing it for the portfolio. So we have taken for as an example for 50%, year 50%, and this is the amounts that we have got. Now fine, we know the Sharpe ratio individually for each. Now for the portfolio, what is my portfolio Sharpe ratio? My return by standard deviation. So for every return, for every risk of 1%, I am getting here almost 79 paise. For 1 rupee of risk, I am getting 79 paise here. Is there any other way that I can enhance my Sharpe ratio? What is the maximum Sharpe ratio I could expect from this particular portfolio? Okay. For this, let us see certain combinations. We have seen a combination wherein Nifty 50 and Reliance 50% each we have given. Let me also see what if I invest only nothing in Nifty 50 and 100% in Reliance. Similarly, for every 10%, what if 10% in Nifty 50 and Reliance 90%, and vice versa, till we'll be seeing till we can also go to the negatives, but for now, for our understanding, we'll just stop at doing it here in the Nifty 50 and Reliance at this point. Okay, now what is my returns? What is my standard deviation, right? And Sharpe ratio. Okay. What is my return? Is equal to, as we have seen earlier, your return is per annum into this plus. So we will be blocking I7. We are locking I7 and J7. So these are the returns. Same way, we can also do the standard deviation. Standard deviation, as we have seen, the formula is the weight, asset 1's weight multiplied with the standard deviation of the asset 1 square of it, plus again weight 2 into standard deviation of asset 2 square of it, plus 2 into standard deviation into correlation. For the whole thing, square root. Okay, now we need to lock in the all the I and j series. So I'm very sorry, I need to, instead of I11 I have to give P1. P2. Okay. This I should not lock it. J11 I should not be giving, like I have to give Q3. Q3 should not lock it. Q4. Same, not I8 is fine, I have to lock it. It is also fine. Instead of I11 I should have given P2. This. And again I5 should be locked. Right. So this is what our standard deviation is. Okay, now we will do it for the whole combination of portfolios. Then we will also do the Sharpe ratio. Written by standard deviation. Okay, so this is the various combinations what we have to do it manually, but then we can also ask the Excel itself to give me the best combination for me to maximize the solver. What I can tell Excel is I want to have certain kind of percentages wherein whatever I invest in Nifty 50, the left will be invested in Reliance or vice versa. So total 100% will be invested. Now again, the return will be the same, standard deviation formula, everything is same. With this, by default, solver will not come in the plugin. So you have to go to the options. You have to go with more options. This is Excel 2020, so slightly you may be having a different interface. So you have the add-ins here, you check the add-ins. Here you have to go with the Excel add-ins. Go here, I have already downloaded, otherwise if this is showing off, it will not be, it will be unchecked for you. So in that case, like just check it and keep it okay, then solver will be added, and you can see the solver in the data tab. The data tab, it will be over here. So what we are telling to solver is my objective is this. My objective is the Sharpe ratio maximum. What it can change, it has to work on this particular cell, and it has to okay. So now to the solver, like my ultimate aim is to, by changing the variable cells of this, I need to change this particular input in such a way my Sharpe ratio is maximized. So I'm asking it to solve the situation, and it has given a solution, but the solution is okay. In the example that we have taken, keeping 100% in the Reliance is the best option as per the solver, but this will not be the case in every time. For example, I'll just, for our understanding, I'm slightly changing the facts, very slightly changing the facts. For instance, this was not 18.95%. We got some 25%, a round figure. We got 25% from the Nifty 50. In that case, let's again ask solver what will be the optimum. So here it is giving you 52.9% investment in Nifty 50 and 47.1% investment in Reliance is the best portfolio construction for getting a maximize it. So like in the our like 0 to 10 manually which we have done, so this is the figures only what we can see, whereas when you give it to solver it has done for you like 87.45%. So as a quick recap, so far what we have done, we have downloaded the data from the Yahoo and we have calculated the returns, we have calculated the standard deviations, correlations, and we constructed a sample portfolio with 50% each. We have seen the average returns daily and annual returns we have seen, annual standard deviation. Then we calculated the Sharpe ratio. After calculating the Sharpe ratio, we have seen other combinations like 0% in Nifty and 100% in Reliance. Same way we have seen some around 10 to 12 combinations. We have also seen the various Sharpe ratios in different combinations. But then we want to know at which particular combination we will be getting the maximum Sharpe ratio. Sharpe ratio meaning, as I told you, for 1% of risk, how much percentage of return that we should expect. So here in this particular combination, as I of course I have changed slightly the facts for us to understand it, because as a somehow in this particular example we got like 0 and 100%, but it will not be the case in general. So it is giving the solver. By using the solver we got a different uh, the the numbers that was supposed to be the in our portfolio for us to get the maximum Sharpe ratio. Good. Now we have done this for only two stocks and it has taken approximately around half an hour to 40 minutes. What if I add one more stock? It will be like one and a half hour. One more stock. 2 to 3 hours, one more stock. So in NSE you have plenty of stock options. So how many you keep adding, how many you will be doing it? For this reason, for this time consumption of manual intervention or manual working on these particular concepts, we are now doing the Python coding. In Python, it may take us around half an hour. Of course, once after we learn the basics, intermediate concepts, advanced concepts, it will take us hardly like 30 minutes or maybe 1 hour or 2 hours for coding it. But then after coding it, it will take for the Python for analyzing the whole bunch of stocks, whether it is, say for example, Nifty 50 stocks. If you throw Nifty 50 stock names to it, it will do the complete analysis for 5 years data, and we have done only for 1 year. It will do for 5 years, 15 years. It's up to you like how many years you want Python to work on that. It will work and it will give you hardly within 1 minute for Nifty 50. For Nifty 100 it will take approximately 2 minutes, 160 seconds, approximately like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. And for Nifty 200 or F&O stocks, around 150 stocks, it will take approximately 3 to 4 minutes. So the whole thing it will be doing, and we will also code in such a way like what is the percentages it should be invested, how much the value to be invested, how much the quantity to be bought, basing on the capital. So if you give a capital of 1 lakh rupees or 5 lakh rupees, accordingly it will do the weightage. It will also suggest you how many units to be bought and what is the amount to be invested, and what is the return that we can expect, and what is the volatility, what is the Sharpe ratio, everything it will throw to us. So let's also see how this efficient frontier or these weights looks like in a graph, because that we call it as efficient frontier. So let us see it in a graph so that you will be appreciating even more. I have chosen the data. Better I will insert. We want scatter plot, and the data that we are taking for this is remove it, add. The series name is efficient frontier. The x values is the standard deviation and y value is the returns. Okay, so this is our efficient frontier. In this efficient frontier you can see at various points data labels we can give, but it's too confusing. Okay, fine. So at 35% we are getting approximately 30%, which is also there here, like for 35% of 30%. So I'm just marking, so you can see the same thing, 35% of standard deviation or risk, you are getting 30% of the profit. As per the solver, this is the best optimized situation. So this is somewhere near 31%, 39. So we'll also plot this. We'll just add it. We'll add one more series. Series is optimized value. Wherein x value is 6.7 and this. Okay. Yeah. Data points. So 31.63% is somewhere over here. So 31.63% we can see it over here, and so this is a situation where the maximum return we can expect for the risk that we are taking. So efficient frontier.
By now, you got a fair idea about the topic of mean variance optimization. Now it's a time for us to learn and understand this through Python. We will do the same step-by-step procedure like how we learned while learning the concept. We will be doing in the Python also. Like step 1 importing the library, step 2 will be like getting the information from the Yahoo. So the same how we learn step by step we'll also be doing now. So let us do the Python coding.
Okay, so now let us start our Python coding. But before we start our coding, we should know that Python can be built on a particular IDE called Interface Development Environment. There are plenty of IDEs like Anaconda. We have Jupyter Notebook, we have Spider. So there are plenty of options that we have. But then I prefer Sublime Text. There is one more IDE called Sublime Text because this is like any other notepad or a word file which is very lighter in size, so for us to execute it, it will be very easy. It will not take a longer time for the executions. So I generally prefer Sublime Text, which you can download in the, this is can also be used for your notepad instead of a notepad. Sublime Text download for in Windows. Yeah. So this is Sublime Text download for the Windows, and just you can download. I don't need it actually. Okay, I can cancel it even. Fine. So that's where you can download the Sublime Text. Now I'm opening it. New text document. The thing is, it will, when you open it, like it will by default save it as a text file. You can see it as a text file in the type. I'm giving the name of MOV, like mean variance optimization, and now text file. I want to convert it into, I don't want this, I want to save as a Python file. So I'm here plain text, I'm choosing Python instead of plain text, saving. So there will be one more file gets saved. So you can see both py file, text file. Now I don't need the text file, I'm just deleting it, no need of it. Opening the py file. Okay, so Python file, the IDE, the platform is ready for us to develop the code. Now we will be starting the downloading or importing the libraries first. We need to install these libraries first of all in our system. Like if you click on cmd, you will get the command prompt. Here you have to give pip install pandas. So pandas is something like a library for the data analysis. If you give it pip install pandas, if it is not there in the system, it will install, but since I am already having it, requirement already satisfied, it is showing you. So I don't need to, since it is already there in my system, it is showing as requirement already satisfied. So what are all the libraries that we are seeing now, it has to be installed in that same process. So let's start our Python coding. We will be importing the first library called pandas data reader. This pandas data reader is something like which will be getting the information for us from the Yahoo. If you have seen, let us compare one by one first step what we have done while doing the manual testing. When we were doing the manual testing, we have initially went to Yahoo Finance, downloaded the data, and we have kept in a different Excel in a columnar style, right? So till there we will be doing it now. But before that we will be downloading all the libraries, like from pandas data reader, data web. Import pandas. Now the first four libraries are like very regular and common libraries which we generally use by any person, like pandas, numpy will be used for any kind of analysis. But then now we are focusing on the portfolio optimization. So there is a specific library for the portfolio optimization called Python portfolio optimization, PYPFPT, Python portfolio optimization. So this is the name of the library which I have already installed in my system. So you also need to install in your system before you use the library. Okay, as I told you, the process is like pip install pypopt. Then in this, from this we are going to bring in the efficient frontier, import efficient frontier. Observe it very carefully. Here efficient frontier is like small e and small f, and where when we are importing it's like this is a class of it. So with a cap. So in Python, small cap and the a large cap has a different identification and a different value. We need to get the risk models as well, and also we need to import expected returns. If there is any small spelling error, it cannot work. So we should ensure that caps, spellings, everything is intact. Okay, now we downloaded all the libraries, we imported all the libraries. Now we will be working on the same step. The first step is how much data you want to work with. So let us see, you want to start date is 2015, like around 2016 also we can say, because we want only 5 years of data. And date is equal to, let us take it like end date as today, till today, right? You want to do it. So then it is date time dot today dot strip time. In the style, capital Y, M and D. So this is a end date. End date is almost till today. Sorry. Yeah, it's recording. Okay. Yeah. So till end date. So till date, we want the information to be downloaded from where? From Yahoo, right? So we have to give the source, we have to give the start date, end date, and which stocks you want the information. I'll show you how easy it is in Sublime Text to give the stock data. See now, we can work with stocks of 50, next 50, 100, 150, 200 FNO stocks and all. For now, let us work on 50, Nifty 50 stocks, so that you can use it for other set of indexes. How to get the information? NSE 50, 100. So all these will be grouped together. Here you can see 100 index. Yeah. So this is a portion from the NSE website, NSE India website. Now you can see this is for Nifty 50, which we generally call as Nifty. Nifty next 50 index, 100, 200, 500, multi-cap. So there are plenty of indexes are there, whichever the one that you want to work with, you can work with later. So you can just get the information, get the symbols of the stocks, and you can do it. Now for now I am showing you Nifty 50 index. So now we need to see what are all the constituents of that particular index. Like, see here, download list of Nifty 50 stocks. I'm downloading this. Okay. So the Nifty index is having all these 50 stocks. For its valuation, we are more interested in symbol. So I'm taking all the symbols, copy, pasting here and closing this. Okay. Okay. So I'm selecting all till here. The shortcuts are very nice in this particular Sublime Text. Control Shift L, I'm selecting everything, and Control Shift L, so that I can work in one go for all this data. So again, end, so that I reach to the end of all these data. For Yahoo, if you it is comprised of almost all the country stock data, like US, UK markets, European markets, Asian markets, Chinese, Japanese. So all the market data it is having it, all the stock data. Then how you, so when you are giving a stock name, you have to give a kind of suffix. Then only it can understand this is from Nifty, that we are asking Yahoo from a Nifty or national NSC data we are asking. So we have to give a suffix called NS. So that which we have given now, and we are converting this into string, comma is delete. So now we made it into a list. So the stocks, these are all the stocks on which we want Python to work and give us the information. Now stocks also been ready, from date to date everything is ready. Now it's the time for downloading the data. First we have to create a empty data frame, pd dot data frame. So empty data frame being created. Now downloading the data for I in stocks. For I in stocks, what we want the information of. For I in stocks, sorry, for I in stocks, sorry, for I in stocks, like we want the column date and columns. So the DFs, the data frames column with the name. So I means like each one, Adani port, Asian port. So for every time it will go, for loop will go and choose one by one. So for Adani ports, what and all I want the information in that. So just get the information like from the web. Let the data reader for stock I in the sense like the respective stock with data source is equal to Yahoo and start date small is equal to our start date which we want, and end is equal to end date. And if you remember, there were some 4-5 columns in the Excel that we have downloaded, like date, open, high, low, close, volume, adjusted close. We don't need all the columns except the adjusted close. So we just need the adjusted close. So we will be keeping only that particular column. We don't need rest. Now, one more thing I told you, like 3 things we have to keep in mind. First of all, if there is any null, any rows that is having the word null, we have to eliminate them. And also there is one more example I have shown you. Indus Tower, there is one particular stock in Nifty 100 for which there is no data with Yahoo source. So those kind of stocks we have to eliminate, and those kind of rows where there is a null values we have to eliminate. Similarly, if there is any empty cells, we have to eliminate. Now we will be doing that. First, we will replace if any empty cells with np.none. True. Next, if df of df dot columns, if any particular column having the stock details with no stock details, then we don't want such kind of column, so we are going to eliminate them. is null. Okay, now we got the complete information. Now we have eliminated those those rows and columns where we are not getting the information, where there is a null values or empty cells. Before going to the next step, I would like to do one more thing. At times, when you are trying to download the data from the Yahoo, it is giving you the exceptional errors. Like there are certain errors that will come up. For example, when it is trying to download the data of Bajaj Auto, it it has some issue. So what Python will say is, I am getting some issue with downloading the Bajaj Auto, so I am stopping the process. For us, that's okay. Let you just eliminate Bajaj Auto. We are okay. Just go with Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Fin Service, BPCL. So we want Python to run it without stopping. If there is any error, by default it will stop the whole process. But then we have to tell it, if there is any issue, just avoid that particular stop and go to the next one. So you try getting the information. In case if there is any exception, if there is an error, you continue with the rest. So that the Python will not get stopped anywhere. Now we are doing the try downloading this information. However, in case if you are getting any exception, except, keep continue. Okay, we will be learning even more detail in the later sessions. What exactly this try, except, break, continue. So we have done with importing the libraries and the stocks. We have given the stocks on which we want the Python to work on, and then we have also created a empty data frame, and we have given the source from where it has to pick up the information, and also in case of any errors what it need to be done, exceptions, like in case of any error, just forget about that stock, go for the next stock, continue it. And similarly, if there is any empty cells and null, if empty cells and empty columns, just forget about it. This is what we have informed to Python now. Now we will ask it to calculate the returns. Okay. Now step number 2, calculation of returns. Returns, standard deviations, covariances, etc. Okay, I'm calling it as MU. The mean returns is equal to expected returns how to give small expected returns. Here also it should be small e. Okay, expected returns dot mean underscore historical returns. So this is a class which we are calling for the data frame. Next, we want the risk models also to work with. Sample covariance. Sorry, sample covariance. Risk models. Okay. So by giving these two, we have now calculated the returns and the standard deviations. Now we have to go for the efficient frontier. Like we have to see how much optimization that need to be happen. Optimizing the Sharpe ratio. Now we have beginning our real coding. So far getting the information and making the calculations for it. Now to the step number 3, optimization. Now EF is equal to efficient frontier of stress. Then weights is equal to clean weights. Okay, now we have asked the Python to calculate the efficient frontier, which we have seen, like the x-axis is on the risk and the y-axis will be the return. So it is now calculating the x-axis and y-axis, and it will create the efficient frontier, the graph. Then the weights, the weights will be the whatever the weights. If you remember, like we have done the solver for maximizing the Sharpe ratio. We have asked in the Excel's solver to give us the best weight proportion in such a way the Sharpe ratio is the maximum. So we are asking it what is the best weight. And then the cleaned weights. Cleaned weights means you have given 50 stocks. Out of 50 stocks, it may tell you like only 4 or 5 stocks worth investing in this much of proportion. So the balance 45 stocks is you have to give it like a 0. For this maybe 10, 20, 30, 40, but for the balance we have to give the zeros. So it will give the complete weights, cleaned weights, and we will be printing it to see where the weightage have been given with. Okay, then we would also like to see the portfolio's performance, meaning okay, you have suggested me something, 5 stocks. What if I invest in this stock? What should be my expected return? What is the expected volatility? What is the Sharpe ratio on all on annual basis? So we want to see the portfolio's performance. Now we'll be doing that. EF dot equal to true. Okay, so this will give us a summary of the portfolio's performance. Then now it is like the next. Now it is the discrete allocation. Okay, then we have coded for the discrete allocation, meaning like the allocation between the finally the stocks that was scrutinized or selected by the Python. So the coding is like From this particular library, you bring in the discrete allocation and latest prices. Latest prices, how it will works, it will take the latest price as on the last day. The last column, it will take it as if it is the latest prices from the data frame. I mean, out of the total data that it is, the dates that is available, it will take the latest date as the latest prices. Then the weights is the cleaned weights, which we have seen above. Cleaned weights means for each stock, how much the weightage, how much the proportion of investment should happen. And discrete allocation should happen basing on the weights and the latest prices. Now, the input is total portfolio value. Basing on the value that you are giving, it will suggest. For example, if you are giving 25,000 rupees, accordingly it will give you how much quantity and what kind of shares it need to be invested. If you are giving like 1 lakh rupees, it will accordingly choose it. I'm giving you as an example like 1 lakh rupees. I have investment of 1 lakh rupees. So uh, we are asking Python, like give me the best optimized best stocks for me to optimize my Sharpe ratio, and I have 1 lakh rupees. So accordingly it will give us the output. And also that out of 1 lakh rupees, we may not be spending the complete 1 lakh rupees. Maybe like 100 200 will be left over because of the fractions. So we want to see even the leftover portion. Allocation. Okay, now finally we want to see the discrete allocation. Print discrete allocation. And also we want it to print for us the balance amount. Funds to menu. Rupees. Fine. So now we are done with. I'm giving the execution. There is a shortcut of Control B, Control plus B, B for Bharat. Either you can give it that way, otherwise you can go to Tools and you can do the build. Okay. I'm giving this. Let me see. It may take approximately 60 to 90 seconds. So I'll fast forward it till the result it comes. I have made very few corrections like spelling errors and all. I have corrected my coding, and also for the benefit of all of us, I just added a few more stock lists like Nifty 50, which we have already added, which I have shown to you. And then I have added Nifty Next 50, 100, FNO stocks, 200 stocks, 500 stocks. But 200 stocks and 500 stock is not practically working because it is asking us to use some other solver. This Pi portfolio optimization could not do it for 200 stocks and 500 stocks. It can do maximum up to around 150 to 180 stocks only. So though I'm keeping it over here, it's not actually working with this particular library. Then the rest everything is same, like start date, end date is till today, and data frame created, and we replaced all those issues. We are calculating the returns. Uh, Again, efficient frontier, weights, cleaned weights, everything we have seen discrete allocation. So now I'm just quickly executing it, and I'll fast forward it once of till we get the result. Okay, so we got the result. Generally takes around 60 to 80 seconds only, but then like somehow for now it has taken 134 seconds for varied reasons. Anyways, let us interpret what it has given to us. So it has given the orders dictionary. These are all the 50 stocks that we have given to the library to work on and to give us the best optimum proportion, the weights. So it is giving 0% to Adani Ports, Asian Paints it is giving like 11.8%, Axis Bank 0, Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Auto is 0, Bajaj Finance some 2.7% something. So this is the table for the respective Nifty stock name and the weightage it has given, followed by portfolio performance. So the expected annual return would be like 43.4%, meaning like in the last 5 years, basing on the data of the last 5 years, from 1st of January 2016 till today, this particular program is suggesting us to buy these shares. The allocation what it is giving us, buy Asian Paints 4 stocks, Bajaj Finance 1, Divis Lab 9, Dr. Reddy's 1, Infosys like 13, Nestle India 1, TCS 3 stocks. Since you have only a capital of 1 lakh rupees, you buy this and keep it for certain time, and there can be an expected annual return of 43.4%. This is for 2021. So again, if you check it on 1st January 2022, you may get a return of around 43.4% with a volatility of 20%, meaning Sharpe ratio is 2.06, which is like 20 times of 20% risk. If you are taking, you should get 2.06 return. So 43.4% is your return. The leftover portion out of 1 lakh rupees, after you buying everything for 19 and all, you will be still left with a change of 113.55. So this is how we need to interpret the result of it. Similarly, if you want to do it for Nifty, I'll just do it for Nifty 100 also. Nifty next 50 also is there. There is a separate index for it. Nifty 100 also is there. I'm just doing it for Nifty 100, which you can see. I'm just highlighting it. I'm doing it for this. Yeah, we got the returns. Again, it has taken an unusually longer time for 100 stocks, Nifty 100 stocks. Generally, it is taking like 3 minutes or so. It has taken slightly more than that. Anyways, so again the same thing for the Nifty 100 stocks. These are all the 100 stocks, and it has given us the respective proportion. Like in the about India, 10% it is suggesting Adani Green 58%, and yeah, this is how. And Divis Lab 12%, Dr. Reddy's 4%. This is how it has given. And finally, it is telling us we can buy like about India like 1, Adani Green 54, Divis Lab 3, Dr. Reddy's 1, Naukri 1, Infosys 4, PNB 3. And you will be left with 3.3 out of 1 lakh rupees. Surprisingly, it is giving us an expected annual return of 2 almost like twice. If you invest 1 rupee, it will become like 2 rupees by the end of 1 year, with a volatility of around 40%, and Sharpe ratio is 5.28. So it has given a immensely a very big numbers for us, but these are all basing on the history. So in the last 5 years, it has so happened. So as a system, as a data and analysis, it is assuming that it will happen again, which may or may not be. So as a disclaimer, we would like to tell you, this is a concept for us to learn and to see the results. But basing on this, investing in the stock and expecting the same set of annual return is always subject to risk. We can't expect the same set of return. So let us do the forward testing also, and we will see how far this particular concept is reliable. So let's do the forward testing. So let me tell you what exactly I mean by forward testing. Today we have done the coding like 1st of January 2021, and as per the coding we got an advice of like around 5 to 6 stocks. It is telling us to invest your 1 lakh rupees on various stocks about and Adani Green, etc. Thereby we should expect around 206% 1 year later. with a volatility of around 40%, around 5.32 Sharpe ratio, right? This is what it is telling us. So after getting this advice, what we will be doing on 2nd of January 2021, we will be buying the shares, right? After buying, you have to wait till 1st of January 2022 to see whether it is actually giving this result, or it is giving more or less or completely losses. So we need at least one more year to wait and watch how far this particular concept is worth and to rely on. But then what else we can do is assume today is not 1/1/2021. It's not 1st of January 2021. Let us assume as if today it is 31st of December 2019, 1 year before, or 31st of December 2018. Let us do it for 2 years. Had we done this particular coding on this particular date or this date, so we will be buying the shares on 1/1/2020 and similarly 1/1/2019. Now let us check what will be the result as of 1/1/2021. Similarly, what is the result as on 1/1/2021? So this is like 1 year return. What is my 1 year return? What would have been my 2 year returns? Similarly, 3 year returns for 31/12/2017. So we will assume as if some previous earlier period we have done the whole job of like this coding and all, and we have invested on that particular date and the immediate date, and then now we will be seeing the results of it. So this is what we are forward testing we are going to do. Let us do it 1 and 2 for Nifty 100. Okay, let's start with. So as I told you, my today is not this date, my end date is 2019 12/31st. So 1 year before I have coded this, and I want to work with 5 years data like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I need some from beginning of 15. Okay, now it will give us an advice. One more thing is we will be doing the forward testing now. But then again, let the forward testing also be automate. Let this forward testing also be automated to the maximum extent possible. Of course, there is a semi uh, human involvement. So for you, I am starting the forward testing. Forward testing. Now, if you have seen, it has given a description that allocation with various stock names it has given. So those stock names again we have to write down somewhere, and we have to go to Yahoo Finance, get the information on the investment date and the current date. So instead of we doing all these works, let the Python do for us. Now the stocks shortlisted by Python. So let us convert into an Excel. Allocation keys. What this keys? If you had seen that allocation, it was giving you in a flower bracket, which means a dictionary. So it has both stock and the quantity. The first one is a stock, which is also called as keys. The second one is called as a variable or the values. So the value is a stock, the number of stocks, and keys are the name of the stocks. So these are the stocks that got shortlisted by the Python. Again, we'll create, we are slightly giving a different name. Please observe this. For a data frame, pd dot data frame, empty data frame we have created, then forward test start date. What is the forward test start date? On 31st of December 2019 we have done that, and 1st of January 2020 we will be buying the stocks. So on this day we are going to buy. Till when you want to observe it? Till today. So forward test end date is equal to, I'll take the today's date here as it is. So this will be my, similarly for I in stocks shortlisted, let Python go one by one and try to get the information. If you could not get, that's fine. The same thing as it is, you can just copy and paste instead. Frame, however here the data source is same and start date will be forward test start date, end date will be forward test end date. Nice, right? Okay, now it will get the complete information from the start date till one full year data. It will bring from start date to end date, which we don't need the complete information. We want only the information as on the date of our purchase and today. So we just need the first row and the last row. Let's eliminate the balance rows. So first row and last row only will be there. Now for us to easily see it how it looks like, let us send it to Excel. Let's call this as forward test for 2020, because we are doing it from beginning of 2020. By now what will be the situation? Let us execute. I'll forward it because it is Nifty 100, it slightly take more time. Then I'll, once after getting the result, I'll put it back. Yeah, we got the result and we are doing our first forward test. Now we have taken the data from 2015 till 2019 end. So as on 31st of December 2019, we were like asking the Python to advise us the best portfolio to create, wherein we should get the maximum Sharpe ratio for the Nifty 100 stocks. So it has given us these details, like out of all these 100 stocks, it has given us the weights, respective weights, and it is giving us an expected value annual return of 45.8%, annual volatility 13%, with Sharpe ratio 3.33. And so finally this is what the discrete allocation it is giving us to go ahead. As we have downloaded the Excel also, we have asked the Python itself to get the information for this about or whatever the allocation that it is suggesting, to get the information as on the respective date, like 1st of January 2020 till date as of today. It has also brought in for us. So here it is. It will be in the same file where you have Python file. Where you have created and saved your Python file, it will be in the same file the Excel will be stored. So we'll be opening that now. System becomes slow, it seems. Okay. So quantity it is suggested, it is over here. It is suggesting 2 stocks of about 9 stockers of Adani, same 29252. Okay. Now, so the purchase value, the investment value is number of stocks multiplied by the purchase price at that time. So the current value, the value as on today is this. So the total value is was 99,851 rupees was the investment value, and the value of it today is 143,0368, meaning it has given us around 43%. What it has told us approximately 45%. 43% it has so happened and we got this, but it can't be guaranteed every time. We will see one more year for you to understand it actually. So had we done this coding on 2019 end and we have bought the shares as on 1st of January basing on that investment advice, the value of as of today is like 143,000, which we invested 100,000. So which means like 43,000, 43% is our return on investment. Let us see for one more year. So we'll get some more concrete evidences. For your ease of understanding, I will do something called Nifty 50, Nifty 50. These are all the indexes: Nifty, Next 50, Nifty 100, and FNO stocks. So these are all the indexes, and it has this Nifty 50 has 50 stocks in it. 100 has 100 stocks in it. I will do it for you. 2019. So about 5 years or 4 to 5 years, I'll be doing it for you, and I'll show you how exactly, how far it is, how exactly the forward testing results are like. For example, now Nifty 100 we have done for 2020 we have done. So we'll not do for 2015. We have done 2020. So it has given as a result of 43%, right? It has given 43%. Now the balance matrix also I will fill it because it's taking like quite a good amount of time for working on this. So I will do this and I will share this in the form of an image or PDF or Excel, whatever is possible, in the description box. You can check it over. So let's do for one more year. We have, as if we are on 31st of December 2018. So 5 years we will make this 14, and our starting date was 2019 January. We are taking an investment decision on this date. We can see it either till date or till the year end, like till only 2019. We can also see it till like 2 years return, but now we will be getting 2 years of return. So let us see 2 years return also. Now we need the forward testing for 2019. Okay, yellow. Yes, yeah, we got the result now. So it has taken approximately 218 seconds. So the same thing. So we already got the Excel. So let's directly work on that. Forward test 2019. Just observe it. This is a 2 years data. Like this is the 1st of January 2019, again 1st of January 2021. So like 2 years returns we are going to see, not just 1 year. So it has given 27.4. The same thing we need to apply. I'm just copying the formulas as it is the same thing. The quantities are 27.4, 34.5, 16.7, 24, 24. 2.4. Yeah. So 100,229 will be the investment, and the return for 2 years is one. By the second year, it is 150,000 become. So which meaning, like, so approximately 50% gave us the return in 2 years. As per the analysis, it was supposed to give like 40% per annum, but it turned to be only like approximately like 20% or 30% per annum. So this is based on the history. It may or may not get repeated. So as I told you, I will be. So now we have seen it for 2019. It is giving you 50% for 2 years. So let us take it as half of it by 2. So approximately 25% it has given. I will try to fill this matrix. Also that I will not be taking the 2 years data. I'll just take 1 year data one by one, so that I can avoid divide by 2. This will not give the real picture. So let me take only 1 by 1 year data. So let me see exactly the 2019 stocks. What was the result by end of 2020? So it will be giving the right picture to us. So this is basing on the 5 years data. You can also do it basing on 1 year data, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10, 15 years. It's up to you. So this is based on the 5 years data. I'll give it to you. I will share it with you. 5 years data. Basing on 5 years data. One more thing I want to give is the advice of Python. I'll try to share in a different Excel or different image or PDF. What it should show is Nifty 50 index, similarly for others. Okay, stock name, the quantity it is suggesting, the value. As of 2021. So as of 1st January 2021, as per this particular model, what are all the Nifty 50 stocks that is getting advised by this concept? For stock name, what is the stock name of it, what's the quantity, what's the value? I'll do it for 1 lakh rupees. So it's up to you. If you have 25,000 rupees, divide it by 4, the each stock quantity divided by 4, or if you have like 10 lakh rupees, you multiply with 10. So same way I'll be giving it to you for Nifty next 50. I'll do it for Nifty 100, Nifty FNO. Yeah, Nifty FNO. So how you can, out of all these things, you can just first you see this matrix. If you are finding FNO stocks are giving a better returns, then you can just go to FNO stocks and choose this one. Or if you are finding it Nifty 50 is better, you can just go and choose out these stocks. So I'll give you both the information. This will give you the historical returns. This will give you the advice for the future investments. Okay, so we'll wrap up here. We'll be meeting again in our next session. Thank you. Thanks for watching.